Hi there folks, today I'm going to do a quick tabletop of my customised cold steel Trailhawk. Now before I begin, if you customise these you will void your warranty, so do so at your own risk. So now I've covered that, let's have a look. As you can see, it's quite long. Let's be precise. As standard, I left this haft. Please note I say haft because on an axe it is called a haft, not a shaft. It is 22 inches as standard. Now, you can change the length of these and I'd recommend doing so with the other models. I'm going to be showing you quite a few of these because I love them. Now, why would you want this? You could want this for an ornament. You could want these for a customization project, should you like a bit of DIY and things like that. The reason I like it is because for camping, bushcrafting and stuff like that. Now, why would I choose this over an axe? As you can see, I've done a patina on the head. This is a mustard and vinegar patina. So what I've done is I've rubbed all the finish off because I disliked their finish as standard. I've friction fit it and removed the grub screw. Now, a friction fit is what it says on the tin. It's friction fitted to the haft. So this is beneficial when you're out camping because what I'm going to do now is show you. As you could hear some banging just, you can remove your haft. So that's what I've done. Now why would I do that? If I was going camping and I've got a good quality knife with me that I believe in, there's nothing stopping me in say a bug out bag or camping bag just taking the head. Now I would do that because this weighs probably about 4 ounces. That's weight. If you can cut down your bug out bags, camping bags, that's great because speed is the key. You want to be able to carry your stuff without any stress or trauma to your body. Because the more you're carrying, the more calories you're going to burn. It's going to be harder and you're not going to be bugging out too fast, are you? So I'd recommend this for camping. So if you like a bit of weekend camping or you like to have the odd bonfire at home, this does split firewood just fine. I'd recommend logs. This is from experience of using it. No greater than 5-inch diameter. Because it's going to take a long time to cut that anyway if you're camping. So I would steer shy from it. Because to tackle larger logs, a Laplander saw will no longer be adequate. You'll need a bow saw. Now, bow saw is more weight, so yet again, we're defeating the objective of having a light bag. So, here's how you would put this back on. Now, you have to make sure on the haft you're putting it the right way. The point goes towards the front. So, you push it to the end, and you pull it tight. So, how did I do all that? So I got this as standard. It's just a boring white colour. And all I did is the first things first is I friction fit this. So you remove the grub screw, bin it. It's rubbish. It damages your haft and that's no good. You don't want to be damaging something that's being exposed to blunt trauma, sorry, not former. So yeah, so we friction fit that. Now you may have an option as to how you wish to do that. Now I used my Dremel with a sanding disc. You can carve it, I've done that on my other models, and you could also get a sanding block. So you would wrap some sandpaper around your sanding block and then rub it bit by bit, pop your head back on, and you want it to friction fit. That means it's going to stay firm enough to use and to chop wood, and it's only going to get tighter because the momentum of the swing is going to put this head tighter on the haft anyway. I've just damaged that on the video, but it's not a problem. I intend to use this. So I've friction fitted the head. Now it's got a black coating on. Now the black coating can be removed a number of ways. So I used my Dremel because I didn't have any paint stripper. So I Dremeled it all off, paying very good diligence as to not make the head too hot. If you make these heads too hot, you'll damage your heat treat, and that is the same for working with any steel whatsoever. You don't want to damage your heat treat unless you're competent to reheat treat it. I am not, so I avoided it. So imagine all the treatment off. So now you'd want to force a patina. Now I did have the video of this, but I've deleted it unfortunately. But should I do one in the future, which I intend to, I shall film it and add it to my video. Now all you do is get some white vinegar in a pan. You can get this from Aldi for around £1, and then you place your head into the pan and you boil it. Now if you want to use extraction, or do this on a camping stove outside, because boiling vinegar isn't pleasant, it just stinks. It might burn your nostrils and your respiratory system, so just don't do it. Use extraction or do it outside. I've got an extractor on my oven, so it's not a problem. So then this patterning, I'd recommend not putting this in too deep, because otherwise you're going to damage the integrity of your haft. Now all I've used is my Dremel. I traced out the patterning I wanted. I wanted to go with a Native American style theme. There's plenty of these on Google. Mine's quite amateur compared to some of them, believe it or not. And you use engraving tools on a Dremel. I've got a Von House Dremel. You can get them from eBay for about £40. And this is the circular engraving tool. I chose this for one simple reason. When mounted into the Dremel, you can hold the Dremel like a pencil. Now this makes it a lot easier to basically just follow the lines, working your way backwards and forwards, going in a nice linear motion so that they all are relatively equal in depth. Now, as you can see, these are relatively good. I don't deny there's people out there who can do better, but I am more than happy with it. So that's what I chose to do to mine. Now, the only thing I haven't done to mine yet is I have tested it in my garden for using campfires and stuff. Is this particular head on this model, as you can see, has a particularly poor edge. So it's very hatchet-like. I would describe it as hatchet-like, because if I was to buy a cheap hatchet for £5 to £10, that's how sharp I'd expect it to be. Now this is an easy problem to fix. There's a lot of ways to do this, but here's the most simple way I can suggest for your average Joe off the streets. What you would do is get a block of wood that is square or rectangular. You then wrap some sandpaper around it. You hold your head upright like that. You hold the block into your hand at the correct bevel angle for the axe, because you will want an equal V bevel at either side. Now what you do is equally, you rub it down until it is more of an edge. Now you would use a coarser sandpaper and then move down to a finer. Then you could even polish this if you wanted and strop it when you're finished, which would basically make it like a razor. This is 1055 carbon steel, as you will be able to find on the Cold Steel website. And this is the standard sheaf they provide. A lot of people make their own out of leather, but for me this is adequate. They're slated quite a lot for being ill-fitting. Now when I got this, you have to, how should we say it, force it on a little bit and allow it to stretch to size before it will fit. But now it's done, I'm happy with it. This hammer on the back has also been hardened in this area and treated correctly so that it can be used as a hammer. And in the middle, it's going to be softer so it absorbs the shock. Now this is good for camping for quite a few reasons. You could smash open coconuts, nuts, so on and so forth. And you can also hammer in tent stakes, tent pegs and things like that. So this as a tool has more utilitarian purposes than a hatchet. Now the only weakness a hatchet has is its haft. you'd have to have a quite good skill level to carve one of them out of wood on the move. This, however, you require a lot less skill. You only essentially have to be able to roughly carve that oval shape on a tapered style stick. I would recommend using ash or something equivalent, as that has a high shock handling capability, should we say. That's why you'll typically find historical weaponry had ash handles, because it handles some hammer basically. There's maple and old and hickory as well if you're American, or if you can get your hands on it in the UK, I'd recommend hickory over anything else. So I really like these, and I'd recommend it for people who would maybe make a bug out bag, who likes camping light and doesn't want to carry everything. You can do all sorts with these. Like I said previously, you can split logs up to 5 inches, no problem. You could paracord wrap this handle here if you wish, to give it some added protection. That's ever so easy to do, and cheap as well. It'll cost you around £2 sterling to get the paracord to do it adequately. So it's an easy modification. You see people shortening these down to around 15 inches. As well, you can throw these. I have thrown mine. I've got quite a few of these that you're going to be seeing. Now, 5 paces is roughly 1 full rotation. When learning to throw this, you hold it in your hand and you mimic the spins through the air at varying distances to work out what your spin is. Now, there's various videos on YouTube of how to do this, but if you are going to do this, make sure you have adequate space, because if you hit someone in the head with this, or the body, you will kill them. It is and was intended as a weapon as its primary use. However, it has vast utilitarian purposes. So I choose to use this for its utility purposes. Should you live in America, this is going to work for self-defense too. If you have this, it's not going to let you down. An axe, a tomahawk, the Native Americans carried them for one reason: utility, and it kills. You can throw it, etc, etc. You can replace the handle, haft, easily. So, thanks for your time, people. I've got more of these cold steel ones to come. I shall provide you a link. You will be able to get the sheaf and the axe tomahawk itself. It's a tomahawk, sorry, not an axe. And yeah, please follow your local knife laws and laws providing things like this. I'm not responsible for what you do. Thanks for your time. Goodbye.